Hi, Internet. Kim here.
Chris here, and this is Rambling Tea Time.
We are back with another episode. How are you doing today, Christopher?
I am doing fantastic, Kim. I'm always fantastic. Even when the world looks grim and sad, I am fantastic.
Okay, that's great. I'm always fine. No, really. Fine is my default everything, but fine also means everything. Does that make sense to you?
No, it does not.
Fine is I'm not doing okay. Fine is I'm doing fine. Fine is I'm doing great. Fine is I'm doing well. Fine is things are perfect.
Fine is everything
Everything.
sucks, also.
Yeah.
So you're
Fine
fine.
is my world is collapsing and I'm wondering if I should continue on with life. Fine is everything.
That's a mood right there. Like, wow.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say you smell very nice today. I don't know what it is. It's like a new cologne or something.
Okay, so I didn't really like how you said that
Oh my god.
because you added today.
Oh my god.
That also makes, not also, that always makes people feel a certain way when you add on a, what is it,
A signifier of like
of the
only this
time.
time you smell nice.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying whatever you have on smells good.
I know my
Jeesh.
roll-on smells great. You should have just said, Kim, you smell really great. I'd be like, yeah, I know.
I wasn't trying to say that you don't smell nice all the time. Just that I'm close proximity of you right now and I can smell that you smell nice. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry that giving you a compliment has to have you thinking, oh my gosh, what happened? Am I do
No,
so
no, no,
bad
no.
every other day?
Here's the thing. I don't think that you think that I smell bad on other days
Uh huh.
because I know that I smell good. You understand?
Yes.
The roll-on that I use is very delicious. Anyway, what? Do you have a roll-on that's delicious? You're looking at me with jealousy.
No, I'm just, you're weird. That whole part with the fine and all this, you're very weird. And I accept your weirdness
You know, I had a weird dream recently.
about.
I was at some kind of ceremony or a conference or something, whatever it was, I was standing on the stage behind the person who was talking to like this big crowd.
Okay.
And the person continued to talk, even though it seems like all of us had enough or
Just
whatever.
shut up.
And someone from the crowd shout out, um, what? When is it gonna be over? We're really exhausted and stuff like that. Like there were people were getting agitated, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And I poked out from behind the person who was talking or giving a speech or whatever. I said, it's the numbness, isn't it? Your butt gets numb, right? And then I said,
Oh my
it's so
god.
weird, I know. Then I said, a show of hands for those whose butts gets numb. And people raised their hand, and I was like, mm-hmm. And I checked out the other side of the crowd, and then I was like, yeah. And then I went back to my place, and then it was over.
What a weird dream. You know what we should do? We should probably do that episode about dreams and their meanings. I would like to know what that
I am
dream
certain it
means.
has no meaning. And if, no, I don't
Meaning
think
is
so.
probably you shouldn't eat before bed or something like that.
What do you mean? It was about butt numbness. Yeah.
I don't even. I mean, I have some pretty odd dreams sometimes as well. Like, like that one where, oh, have I ever told you about the dream where I woke up crying? Like,
What? What
uh,
is this?
okay, I was dreaming and I had like a wife and a kids, and then
Oh,
my
I think
wife
you
and
did
kids
tell me.
died, and I
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
trying to find out. I can't remember. Is there some cliche way that they died? Probably car accident or some nonsense. You know how stuff is. And I was trying to find out who killed them, or maybe it was murder. Like I was trying to find out who killed my wife and kids and whatnot. And then I found the guy, and then he got away. And then I woke up because I got killed. I got shot, and I was tired because I didn't revenge. And when I woke up, I was like, that was a fucking depressing dream.
Right. I remember you telling me you felt really bad
I
for
felt
your
like
daughter.
really bad for the entire day for this fake dream family that I
Yeah.
never had. I was just like, wow.
I had a similar dream too. But anyhow, we'll deal with that in our dreams
One
episode
of
that
these
we should
days.
do.
Yeah.
Right. So, what we have been up to lately is watching movies.
Yes.
We had ourselves, I guess you can call it a movie night.
Yes, yes, we did.
Yes. Are we going to start with the first movie?
Yeah, let's just start. Let's go. The first movie we watched was Falling Down. It's from
Yes.
1993, by the way.
Yes. It's an old movie.
Old. It's as old
Uh,
as me. Barely. Well, technically, yes.
how old are you? Oh, wait. 1993, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all are basically twins.
Yeah. It's going to be 27 years old. I'm going to be what this year? 29? God.
Yeah.
28. Oh, God. That's just. Where does the
Anyhow,
time go? I was a young man just the other day.
I mean, you never looked it, but it's good to live a dream. Okay, so moving on. So the gist or the summary of Falling Down is that one day this
Has
guy,
a just panic attack in like his car in the beginning, right?
well, I guess so. The heat is signifying his underlying rage,
Yes.
with things. And he gets fed up. He's trying to make his way home for his daughter's birthday.
Yes,
And
yes.
he just ongoing throughout the day gradually keeps having a worse and worse day and
Yeah.
having to deal with more and more crap.
Yeah.
But it's probably not the message of the story, him getting that
It's more
way.
like how just one like instance could cause you to just go down a path that you might regret.
Right. I think when watching it, there are lots of people. I'll say most people who work to eat
Yeah.
could easily end up going down this path,
Really just
really.
snapping one day.
Yeah. Because, things always pile up.
I mean, it don't not just work either. Just life might just
That's what
got
I
you
mean, though.
stressing.
The stressors of life, things continue to pile up, and sometimes you can't deal with everything.
Yeah.
This story had some stuff about like society. It was about, his fed upness, his more and more getting upset with society.
Yes, and just people in general stopping him from like just being, you know.
Well, I don't think anyone was stopping him from just
I mean
being.
that part where he after he came from the Korean store after he got mad at the Korean guy for upselling the bunch of like sodas and all the stuff in the store, and he just sits down in like gang territory or whatever, and the guys just come up to him just trying to mess with him. He just like kind of just like, really, this is a gang thing right now,
Yeah, that
really,
was
for me to sitting down
really.
on your goddamn stoop of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nothingness.
It's like no one is here. It's like,
Yes,
why
in the middle of a
start
field.
something?
Yeah.
There are people like that for real who would just want to start something
Yeah,
for
for
nothing.
no reason. I
I wasn't upset when he beat them
with the
with the
stick.
baseball bat.
I think
Okay.
that's another thing that I like about the movie too. It's like every altercation he goes to, he's slowly picking up a different type of weapon.
Right.
Because at the Korea store, he got mad and the guy pulled out his bat to like defend himself. He took it from him,
Yes.
and
And then he
then
used that on the guys from the
and
gangland,
took
whatever,
their
and took
knife.
the knife and so on and whatnot. There are some things that can be seen as racist,
Yeah, I think that
like the
was the point
things
of the
that
movie
he
too.
said
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the Korean guy, and then he says to those guys who I guess are like
Latino. Yeah,
Latino.
yeah.
Um, and
It
then there's even like racism towards like white people as
Yeah,
well. I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
that's mixed in
Yeah.
for good measure.
I mean, everybody could be a bastard. And it's
It's
like,
true.
I liked how when he meets up with the Nazi guy,
Hmm.
and the Nazi guy's like, I heard about you, the violence, and you killing all those black folk or whatever, right? And the guy's like, I'm an American. You're a Nazi. I am not like you. Everybody's just stopping me from going home, and I
Hmm.
am not going to like put up with this like nonsense and stuff. So even though my man might not be the most sensible guy in his head right now, he still knows where a Nazi. He calls it a Nazi for being a goddamn fucking Nazi, and I kind of
Hmm.
like that. I also like the scene prior to this where he's in um the fake McDonald's place, and he asks for
Oh,
breakfast, and it's like they say breakfast isn't at 11:30, ends at
right,
11:30, and it's like 11:35,
right.
and that is something that I've had the experience of actually
Really?
like being just mad, like it's literally only breakfast menu. I'm literally like a few minutes late. Like it was 15 minutes there, but still, like you got breakfast back there that's probably still warm or whatnot that you haven't sold yet. It's like,
I hear you, Christopher, but it also is that they have rules that they have to follow. I am actually on the side of the institution right now. They have their rules and their stipulations, and they tell you it's a certain time. You come after that time, it's no go.
what's the point of ending breakfast literally 15 minutes before lunch like that?
To start lunch. What is wrong with
I
you?
mean, like, oh my god, that means you still have breakfast.
It doesn't matter.
Anywho, I get it off track about this
Oh,
situation.
you don't
I
understand. You don't
understand,
understand.
and I understood his rage and anger in that moment. Okay,
I understand his rage. I can see from both perspectives, but I still think that he's wrong in that situation.
fair enough.
They cannot open. It's like opening the door to one person, then you might as well let everybody else in as well.
I just think that they should just be able to sell breakfast all around. I'm pretty sure that most stuff like that is nowadays is common. It's
Well,
like
I
you can
don't
easily
know.
get
I
breakfast
haven't been to a
wherever.
fast food restaurant in a while.
Me too. Fast food will ruin your gut.
It will. They're saying that all their stuff is organic and whatnot these days, though. You
Organic,
know?
my ass.
Exactly. But actually, it's all a conspiracy to keep the weak down, the weak and poor in poverty. It's all a conspiracy. But we're not going to talk about that
I
today.
don't know where you're going with that, but okay.
Anyhow, my favorite part of the movie, well, maybe not my favorite part, but a part that I liked is when he is trying to, well, yeah, he's trying to get home, but he goes to buy the, what do you call it? The little snow globe for his daughter, which
Yeah,
was actually a great deal
yeah.
because it turns, and I don't have a snow globe like that. I've never even seen snow globes that turn that way.
The entire
And how much it
water park,
was?
like
Three
$3.
dollars?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a deal. Anyway, so down the street was this guy who was saying he was protesting that I guess they wouldn't let him
They
get
wouldn't
a
give him a loan.
loan
Yeah.
at the bank there, and they were what the reason that they told him is that he wasn't
Economically viable.
viable
Yeah.
exactly, and the police soon come along and they arrest the guy and take him along,
Yeah, yeah.
but he looks out the window and looks the car like stops maybe at the lights or in
Yeah.
traffic, and he looks at our main character Defense and says, "Don't forget me."
Yeah.
The reason why I think that part is so it's important for me because later on we find out that Defense also lost his job and
Yep.
they told him other things like that as well, like he
Exactly.
wasn't economically viable and that he was over skilled or whatnot for
Yeah.
his job. And that place that you end up being sometimes when you get older
Yeah.
folks in a
You're too
certain
old, you're overqualified,
right.
and they can easily hire somebody else and pay them less.
Right. So I like that scene though, where the guy tells him, "Don't forget me."
Yeah. It kind of also kind of harkens up to the end when he meets up with the our other main character, the cop who's retiring on this day, and happened to see Defense that morning get out of his car and just
Right.
relieve traffic. He has his own thing going on with like work and retiring, his wife, and just
Mm-hmm.
like he was considered a desk cop. And I
Right.
think you had a problem with how people were treating him just because he was a desk cop, because it's like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
paperwork needs to get done.
exactly. See, I don't know if people don't know how like any institution really works. If there are people who do this thing called street work or the foot work, there's people who have to write up things
Yeah,
for what they have done,
exactly.
you know? And even those people themselves have to do paperwork as well. You
Yeah,
shouldn't look down on paperwork.
paperwork is a headache.
Well, it may be, but everything is in the records.
Sure.
Paperwork is very important to organize things and allocate things and, people in the right place and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And everybody's talking down him. It's like, oh, the last cop who retired, he died the same day. They're all
right.
making jokes. So over the course of the day, he's like figuring out that he's realized all these crimes are happening in a line, and it's the same person who's committing them. So, and he's trying to get help and figure out what's going on, but all his other colleagues are getting in his way. They think that he's like, stop trying to like do a case on your last day or whatever. His boss is like looking down on him, thinking that he's lesser of a
Yeah,
man or
just because
something.
he
Because
doesn't curse.
yes, because he doesn't
It's like,
curse.
what kind of criteria is that?
That is the weirdest one I've ever heard. Like, seriously, I don't know about that one. I curse a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure our podcast listeners know, but I've never heard cursing to be like a sign of like manliness. Is weird. That's I
I don't
don't
have
know.
anything to
This is
say
a weird one for me. I don't know
to
about
it.
that.
So,
But he eventually meets up with him at the end. And this is bringing back to the point, but don't about remember me. The guy telling him.
hmm
Because at the end, he kind of has a standoff with Defense.
hmm
And Defense is like, he accepted that he's kind of lost it, and that he's nothing left to give to his family, and he
right.
almost killed his wife and almost killed his daughter because he wanted to like end it all. And he's like, at least when I am done, my daughter will get my insurance money, that type of way.
hmm
And he pulls out the toy gun, and the guy shoots him and he falls over the edge, and it's like, yeah, don't forget me.
In my opinion, it wasn't that great
Of a movie.
of a
I
movie.
liked it.
I didn't dislike it, but I don't know if there's some things that are supposed to be comedic, but I did not really
Yes.
find the movie to be comedic.
No.
I didn't
Because
find it to be humorous. I didn't find it a tragedy or a societal depiction or
no.
whatever,
It's
really.
just one guy is having a really, really bad day.
Well, there's that, but he also we were shown later on that he had issues
Yeah.
even before he lost his
The thing
job.
that I liked as well is the wife was like, he had issue, but he never hurt her. He never like hit her. So, and that's when the cops were like, "Are you sure your husband is
And
like even
this
a
is the
threat?"
problem with the cops. We need to talk about the cops. They only come when a crime is committed.
Oh yeah, that's kind of
Do
their
they
jobs.
prevent crimes?
No.
I mean, that's what they're supposed to. Okay, I don't want to like hate on cops. I'm sorry, but it was so ridiculous his reaction to her.
Because at the end of the day, because the first set of cops stayed for a while, right? Because they responded to her saying he called here. We have a restraining order. He says he's coming here, and it says he hasn't gotten here yet or whatnot. And then he called again, and she called the cops again. And the second cop was kind of like annoying. I like when she said, "If you want better cop, if you should vote for more patrols or some shit like that." I was like, "Oof." That's some real dismissive shit right there. This woman, and then at the end, she was right because he almost
Exactly.
freaking killed them.
Exactly.
And I like that that guy,
Which
the
guy?
chief. The chief had the balls to be like, one of our own was the one who was tracking this
Right.
case,
Even before he was
and
all like dissing the guy, talking about how he's not a real man because he doesn't cuss.
and then he was like,
He said, fuck you
fuck
very
you,
much.
fuck you
I will
very
not
much.
forget it. Because I think I would have said the same
Right
thing.
on TV in front of
Yeah.
everybody to see is like, yeah, fuck you too, boss, and
Goodness.
walked away because
Such a
he's retiring. He don't
hypocrite.
like give a
That's
shit.
right.
But I like this movie. I had heard about it for years. I knew about this movie for years. I've seen the clips that these stuff like
I'm
the different clips
I
of him
think
like
I've
just seen
seen
doing different
this
things. But
movie,
before,
but if I haven't seen it, maybe I had just seen clips somewhere.
yeah,
Maybe on a Sunday, one of those channels that
yeah,
show
yeah, yeah,
movies
yeah.
like TNT
Probably,
or something. I don't know.
yeah. It's old enough that I probably would have seen it on
Yeah,
TV as well.
probably.
But I decided that we should probably just give it a watch, and I think it was good. I overall
Yeah,
liked it. It was good. It was good.
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Okay. Our next movie is one that you brought, a very new movie as well.
It is. It's called Nobody.
Nobody can
It
be.
actually came out earlier this year. It was supposed
Yes.
to come out last
It's our
year.
newest movie on this list, actually.
Yeah. But their whole pandemic and
Ah,
everything,
yes,
and then they
COVID.
delayed it and whatnot. Anyhow, it came out earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a gentleman.
Gentleman.
He is a gentleman. What? Okay, okay. A guy. You want me to say guy? I didn't mean that he's a gentleman.
Gentleman.
I just meant that he's a man,
Okay.
a male. I can't say gentleman.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, gentleman kind of like puts a different image in my head.
It's about this dude, right? Who one night his home gets broken into by
Mm-hmm.
these two robbers, and he was trying to
Prevent it.
prevent it.
It's going to knock out one of
Sure.
them.
And one of them had his son came down because he heard it as well. And he tried to like restrict one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the father was going to attack, but he didn't because he saw the other one had a gun pointed at his son. So he let them go and gave them what they want.
And all that
And
time we were watching the movie, he didn't want to at that part of the beginning, he didn't want to like have the gun go off and hurt his son or have
right,
like
that's
somebody
what
get killed.
we were thinking.
Exactly. But
Well, after that, I guess his son mostly, and maybe his wife a little bit,
everybody
started
know.
to look down on him, and the neighbors and people at work were, all saying the kind of things that they would have
I would
done
have put a
if
gun.
it was them and blah blah blah. It actually turns out that our dude is
Just say what you want to say, gentlemen. We don't even...
our gentleman is not just a plain old Joe. He turns out to be some kind of, I don't know, special ops who used to do like cleanup work and like is
auditor.
nowhere.
An auditor can...
Exactly. He's the kind of people who, when we watch movies and they get killed, they get told things like, if you take out this mission, we can't claim you as United States citizen. You know, that kind of thing? Or your
Yeah.
family will never know how you died. Kind of thing.
Yes, yeah. I
Yeah.
understand.
He does that kind of work.
Yes. Wet
He
work
had been
cleanup.
laying low for several years, He wanted to have a family and all of that nice, beautiful stuff. But what actually ended up triggering him was when the daughter,
Yeah.
her like bracelet or something like that, it seems like it got stolen
Yeah.
or whatever. So he like tracks down the robbers and tries to find it because he's like, you can't touch things that belong to my daughter.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he didn't give away his ring either. He was like, no. They asked him for the ring, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, he gave them the watch,
Uh-huh.
but he didn't give them
You
his
remember
wedding
also,
ring.
before we get to him tracking them down, he saw the tattoo on one of
Right.
them's hand, and he's walking around town that night looking for who the tattoo parlor and stuff like that. So he goes to this one tattoo parlor, and he's like, "I got a whole bunch of money. Can you tell me information or whatever?"
Yeah, and they
And
try to
like start shit or something like that. And one guy in the corner sees,
the tattoo that he has
has
on
one.
his
Yeah,
arm,
I was
like
like,
from,
he's
military
like, "Did you
special.
serve?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." He's like, "Thank you for your service,"
And
and
then
he
he like
goes in.
walks into like the back room and he like closed the door. Then you hear all the doors locked. And then he like closed the window of the door as well.
That was a very funny moment in
Yeah,
the
that
movie.
part was funny.
It was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." Everybody else in the room was like, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't fuck around with this guy."
Yeah.
So he finds out and he goes to the people's place.
Well, it turns out that they don't have it.
Yes, there's
Um,
so
and something that it ends up making him not want to, like do anything more severe is that he
yeah.
hears the
He
baby that they have
realizes, yeah,
crying and
yeah,
he like comes back down to earth.
yeah. He's like,
Anyway,
yeah.
after that, he gets on a bus. Is that when he gets on the bus?
Yes, he gets on the bus.
Okay, so after that, he gets on a bus. And then it's late at night, a few people on the bus. And this vehicle with like, I don't know, like five guys crashes
Yes.
into the bus. And these guys are drunk and they get out of the car that's all like smashed up and they get onto the bus and they're Russian. And they
Yes.
start drinking. And some of the other people get out the bus and they like circle around this lady, like blocking her off and all talking whatever,
And
it's
he's just like, "Make my day," because he's
yeah,
still like, what he needs to, he wants to
release.
release the beast,
Yeah.
as they say.
So before that, this movie is also somewhat similar to Falling Down. The characters where they have this like, I don't know, quiet rage or their
Quiet
rage
rage.
is boiling over.
Okay.
It's like we're at boiling point right now. It's like just look at me the wrong way and lights go off.
So he kind of goes nuts on it because he sees they're troubling the girl. So he decides,
Yes.
"I'm gonna take this into my own hands,"
Yes.
and proceeds to beat the living ever shit out of them inside of the bus.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and he feels good.
He does.
He does feel good. He puts pretty much all of them in the hospital, and when he gets home, he has like a renewed vigor in him. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's like, he's happy, he's stuff, and but the person he talks to on his radio, who we soon find out is kind of like an adoptive brother,
Right.
is like, "You probably mess with the wrong guys,
Right. At
wrong
first, we
Russians."
were wondering if
The
this
voice was in his
voice
head.
yeah, like a ghost or something.
Because the guy says, "I'm not coming. When you're dead, you don't really got much to do."
Right, but it turns out that he was just in hiding.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was in the
It
beginning.
really-
I thought he turned on the radio and this person is dead.
Yeah.
What?
But you find out that he's like connected the family of the one of the guys, and guys they work for some Russian guy.
It's
Some
the
important-
younger brother
Yes.
of the one of the guys who like handles all of the money for this like Russian mob.
For the Russian mobs,
What
yeah.
they call Obshank?
Yeah.
or
Obshak or something.
Yeah.
Obshak. Yeah.
Obshak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obshank.
What's his name again now? I
Obshak.
can't remember what his name is.
Oh my gosh. Is it
Julian.
Victor? Oh,
Julian. Oh my god. I was like, is it
Julian.
Yuri or Julian? But it's Julian.
Okay.
Yeah. So this movie is very simple. It's
is.
very, very simple. Guy has bad night, eventually snaps, finds people, doesn't commit the deed, unleashes on somebody else that he thinks is doing something bad, so he has the justification to use violence on them, right? So he does, and he kind of pays the consequences for it because he messed with the wrong people. But Unfortunately for those people, the person who messed with them is not somebody to be messed with.
Right. And they later on attack his home as
Yes,
well,
yes.
where his family is. And this is the part where I think the son is all like
And the family is all
recognizing.
like, what the
No, the
fuck?
mother, we later find out that she already knew. She
No,
knew the
no, she
line of
didn't.
work that he was from.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
Yes,
She
she
was still
did.
confused. Don't forget when she was putting them in the car, he was like, "What's all this about?" She was asking like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I'll explain it to you later."
No, no, no. She knew.
No, she didn't.
You don't get it. Anyhow,
No,
moving
she
on.
didn't. She didn't know that he was a spy. Not spy, like this was his type of job.
Yes.
No, she didn't.
Yes.
Remember, because at the beginning she says, when the son is asking for somebody to
I
who participate in the
know.
army or war or
But
whatever, who's a veteran, and she was like, "Oh, you can ask your uncle. No, grandpa,
he
because
was a
he's a real
real.
soldier.
I
He
know.
exactly."
She forgot or
No,
something.
she doesn't know. She really
No,
didn't know.
no,
We
no. I
thought
don't
that
believe it. Whatever. Let me
Ken.
get to my point.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. We'll figure it out later on. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? So, my point is that when the Russian mob retaliate and send like their guys over to his house,
Mm-hmm.
he tells his family to go into the basement and then he like pulls down the side of the what do you call it?
The
The light
panel.
switch.
Yeah, and it's
And then
all
there's all like numbers down there and then this door slides out and closes like what? And like the
some
house is like
Batman
turned
shit.
into exactly. Anyhow, and then he deals with like all of these people and he doesn't kill all of them.
No, he doesn't. He leaves some of them alive so he could
Barely
barely alive.
alive
Yeah,
so that he can later deal with them.
yeah.
It was
Then he
some,
leads his family out and tells her to like get out. I'll deal with this and I'll explain to you later.
yeah. You're sure she didn't know?
I'm pretty sure she did not know.
I'm
She
pretty
knew.
sure she knew.
No, we thought she knew, but we finally realized that she didn't knew when that actually shit went down. Exactly.
In any case, the whole movie. I mean, do we need to explain the end?
It's not really.
It's
It's very
self-explanatory. The
self-explanatory,
mob then later comes for him at his workplace, which he had bought
and
from
he
the
sets up
boss.
like a trap.
Yeah, he sets up a whole bunch of traps. His brother comes. His father comes after having been in
There's a
a
whole bunch.
home.
Like this is a thriller movie.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
an action
action. There's a bunch of
thriller.
fights. It's that guy at work. You think is just a guy at work. Is this actually a secret badass? Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Right. And it was fun throughout. I quite enjoyed this movie. It had a few gags. It was funny in my opinion, and it had good fights. Bob Odenkirk did a good job giving off that I'm a dad, but I'm also a scary motherfucker type of energy. It was a good, short, simple movie. And I
Yeah,
think if you're
I liked
looking
it.
for something like that, to give it a go, it's probably the most fun movie I say we watched that night.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, give it a watch. It's very simple, but if you're looking for some action trailer stuff, it's great.
Yeah, it was good. Before we move on to the last movie, it is time for the tea of the day,
Yeah.
our new segment. The tea of the day is Tazo Passion. Yay! One of the
Wonderful.
teas that are by Tazo that I really enjoy. It has this nice creamy texture, in my opinion. It's very fruity and lovely. I just love how the hibiscus comes through and it's tangy yet sweet, but it's not overly any of those. And it has a little bit of sour, but it's not too much, you know? You can drink it cold, you can drink it hot. It's I really like Tazo Passion, I have to tell you. I also like the purple color that it leaves my tongue afterwards. It's just great. Okay? Gives me fair vibes. In
Now, our last movie is something that people considered a classic. It's called No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain to me why people consider it a classic.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What did you think about the movie? Just give me your thoughts on what you thought about the movie. What was the movie about to you?
Oh my gosh. What the movie was about or what the
Yes.
movie was about.
No, I mean like what was the movie about, Kibble?
The movie was about this dude
Mm-hmm.
who had stole some money because
Yes.
a deal, like a drug deal, had gone bad. And he
Yes.
found the money, he took the money, and then there's this cleaner who, was supposed to take care of this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
He realizes that someone took the money, and he, as the cleaner and hitman, has to hunt down this guy and deal with him as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That
the
is the
movie.
bare bones of the movie. Okay. There's a lot of reasons why people really like this movie. It's more or less to do with like the theming of like some of the characters and what they're talking about, like fate and destiny, and like especially with Chigurh. Am I saying his name right?
No.
Anton
Chigurh.
Chigurh, right? Is our assassin sent to take care of Moss, who finds all this money. And one of the first scenes we see him in, not the one where he kills the actual police officer. Well, probably that one as well. The officer says he has this handled. He has this handled and he puts down the phone. And when he puts down the phone, Sugar is right behind him already, grabs him and literally strangles him to death.
Yes.
And that is like one of those things where it's like everybody thinks they are prepared or have a handle on certain situations when life does not give a damn and just died right there. That's kind of like the core thing of the movie, in that life kind of feels like it can steamroll you in, and no matter what you do, you can't fight it. And Chigurh is always like flipping his coin. And I'm saying his name wrong, am I now?
It's Chigurh. How
Chigurh.
hard is that?
I am sorry.
Just call him
Let me
Anton.
just call him Anton.
Gosh.
So Anton, he has that scene with the store owner, and the store owner asks him about if he's done Dallas, and like just trying to make polite conversation, but
Yeah.
Anton kind of like takes it like he definitely has an issue with just people
With
asking
normal
information.
conversation.
Yes.
He'd rather people not talk to him,
Yes, he
it
would rather
feels.
not people like even look in his direction. And the conversation keeps going, and it seems like the guy will realizes that something is wrong. He's like, I'm going to close right now, you know? He's like, what time do you close? And Anton's like, what time do you close? You know? He does at Dart. Is it Dart right now? Is closing now? And just that type of like steady rise in like tension between until he pulls out his coin. And his whole thing is leaving it up to fate so he doesn't have to like take responsibility for the deaths of people in a way. And he like that whole speech he gives the guy, he flips it, the guy calls it, he says heads. And he says you better keep it because that coin like has 1952 on it. It took all this time to come back here to you to be today. We all got here the same way. And he flips that coin and he decides that man's fate and life right there on a
Okay,
coin
but then
toss.
he says afterwards that it's just a coin.
Yeah, it is. But it also was a decider of fate and life and death for that man. It's the same thing what he does at the end with Carla. That whole flipping, and she says, I can't choose to put my life in a coin when the only person that makes that decision is you right now.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of the movie.
What?
Life, death, fate, destiny. Not being in control of it. Like listen to what the sheriff is talking about.
At the end?
No, at the very beginning.
What
Remember
did
the
he
very
say?
beginning when he gives that whole talk about the kid that he arrested that he sent to the electric chair. And the kid was talking about how the cops and whatever the DE or whatever said that it was a crime of passion because he killed his girlfriend. And the kid said
He
this kid
didn't kill his girlfriend.
he
He killed someone. A
killed a
girl.
girl.
Right.
Okay, pretty sure it was his girlfriend. Anyways, he killed the girl, and he said the boy told him that he was going to kill somebody
Someone.
anyways, and
Right.
if he doesn't, um, if you let me get out, I'll kill somebody anyways, right?
Right.
He's like, I know I'm going to hell. I'll be there in 15 minutes. I really, for some reason, I really, really like that. That whole thing kind of sets up the entire movie in a sense. And he's just like, how do you deal with that? That's the whole, the sheriff's entire, like, going through. He feels overwhelmed by like the increasing amount of violence that is just like
Mm-hmm.
showing up and just happening in this area, and just like, what am I supposed to do? Is kind of why he's retiring in the first place, because he feels overwhelmed, and I can't he can't keep up with the times, and he just like, I'm going to remove myself before I get removed from myself. And then you have Moss, or one of our main characters who we follow for most in the movie. And he makes all of these decisions. He's going to get that money. He's going to get Carla Jean and him out of town. He's going to do all these things because it's like money. He's blinded by greed.
Yeah, I don't.
What?
Whenever I always see these things, it's like, if you find a lot of money, don't take it.
Don't take it.
In real life, it never works out well. Just like in a lot of movies that they show you when a person steals a whole bunch of money, they just end up dead on some floor, dead in some ocean.
Yes.
This end up dead somewhere, okay?
And he
Or
ended up
bleeding
dead
out
in the end.
on death's door,
Yeah.
basically. I just don't know why you would make that decision. I get all the things that money can give you, but if you were thinking logically, you would know that you cannot get away.
You want to know where he made his mistake? I kind of like the whole duality of his character. He was an asshole enough to take that money and go, but some part inside of him was like, I need to go back and give water to that guy dying. He couldn't, like, the smallest amount of compassion in him was like, I need to go back and make sure that guy isn't dead and to give him some water. It's like, if he didn't have that, if he did not do that and he had actually checked the money before he, like, if you find a whole bunch of money, check to make sure you don't go to goddamn trackers in it. Like, for real.
Probably does though, if it's a
Take
lot
out
of
the
money.
money, check to make sure to check the bundles, and move it into something else.
That's
You know?
right. You have to move it into a different case.
Exactly. But that one moment of compassion pretty much kind of sealed his fate, if not increased the amount of danger he put himself in. Because him going back out there led to the Mexicans finding him and all that stuff and chasing him down.
So I get right that in the end, he stole the money from. Is it the Mexicans that killed him in the end as well?
Yes,
Right.
because
So he
of
stole
the
the
actual
money
mother.
from the Mexicans, and the Mexicans killed him.
Yes.
So everything,
Yeah.
ended the right way. Basically, I can't say anyway. But
the Mexicans didn't
if
find
he
the money, though.
didn't go back there,
Yeah,
it actually would have ended sooner, his life,
probably
because Chigurh would have known where he was
because of the tracker.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole movie is like this whole like little rat chase of, it doesn't matter. The money isn't the important part.
Right.
It's about all of these decisions that these characters are making, and they're all like like locked with one another. How their fates or destinies are interlocked with one another, and how it's going to play out for all of them. You got the cop who is like, this, I can't deal with this crap anymore. You got Anton, who is like, he lives in this very, very straight moral view of the world, and he knows he does not bend or break for what he believes he needs to do. Like, even if he was to get back the money or whatever, he would still kill you.
Right.
The fact that Moss is dead and he goes and sees Carla Jean because he promised Moss that he would do. This doesn't have anything to do with revenge. This doesn't have anything to do with like, oh, Moss is dead, so I don't have to bother with that girl anymore. No, this is about principle and what I believe and what I promise your husband.
Yes.
He had a chance to save you, but he chose not to. And yes, he's dead. And yes, your mother is also dead. But I'm going to decide your fate with a coin toss right now. Like, they always say the same, I'm going to decide your fate. It's a really evil thing, that, when you really think about it. Like, trying to remove all responsibility from yourself for an act that you're going to do and just, like, leave it up to luck.
I do that sometimes. I mean, responsibility is a burden. Let's be honest.
Existence is exhausting, Kim.
You're right.
But that doesn't mean we have to be assholes about it.
I never said that we're going to be assholes about
But
it.
I like this movie for what it was trying to say. You know?
Which is?
Life sucks. And everybody is going to die. And all about what you do and what you can do is try to live life the best you can. Because life will take everything from you. The best you can do is make sure your story is interesting, I guess.
Wow.
Like, for real.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I'm just saying, man, like, everybody, like, just some decision, it's really all about what you choose to do. And a cop chooses to retire, an assassin chooses to continue on his killing path with no sort of remorse, and a guy decides that he's going to risk everything for a whole bunch of money that isn't his.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I wouldn't say I love it, but I really like this movie.
It's okay.
I see why people consider it such an amazing movie and whatnot. I wouldn't go that, but I get it. I would say I get it, but I like this movie. I was expecting it to more like line up with our theme with the other ones, but it didn't. But that's fine. It was good.
Again, it was okay.
Well, that's our short review on those 3 movies that we liked.
Yes,
Well,
we must
I
have another. Oh, well, I like some things as well.
I have a few other things that I want us to watch too.
I have a few things that I want us to watch.
And I hope you guys will listen to us ramble about them again.
Good night, everyone.
Night, guys.